There we go. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. I don't know if you could see me or not. Hey, I'm Chief Meteorologist Luke Dorris here in the KCTV5 First Warn Weather Center. I want to give you an update on what's going on with the storms. We had a nasty line come through Kansas City this morning, and we still have a tornado watch for portions of the area. But a lot of this is good news, okay? So a lot of us are done with the severe threat, and there are still a couple spots. I'm looking at you in Saline and Pettis counties, Marshall and Sedalia. You've got a tornado watch that officially goes until 6 p.m. I think it's going to be expired before then. There are some storms to the northeast. The environment there is still not completely out of the woods to be able to produce some strong storms. They're not looking to do it. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's possible. So here's a broad look at the radar, and I'll zoom in here. You can see how they're rocking up here in northeast Missouri. This is past Kirksville now. We have tornado warnings there. This is going to be the focal point. This is outside of our coverage area, but that's going to be the story over the next several hours. That tornado watch there goes until 8, by the way. And I'll show you here in just a bit what the watch looks like. So what I'm highlighting here is we have these storms that are up to the north of those of you in Marshall and Sedalia, Saline and Pettis counties. If you kind of imagine, I'll see if I can draw it, this line kind of like that. Sometimes what you can get or are storms to fire on that kind of back side, even though there's nothing there now, and I don't anticipate it to happen. It is a possibility. And today's kind of been a day where storms have overachieved. The atmosphere really did get kind of juiced up quickly this morning, which is why we had so many of these. Look at all the storm reports that we had from the line that came through this morning, and then it raced out to the east. These things were booking. I mean, I'm talking 50, 60 mile an hour cell motion, which is really fast. So they covered a lot of ground in no time. But with the atmosphere working over, again, a lot of us that saw it this morning were out of the woods. All these things that you see here, these are reports of either power lines that were snapped or broken or trees that were down, and we even had a couple of tornado reports. So I'll show you some of those. This is a zoomed in look at what we had with just official reports. Not everybody that had damage reported it, so it's going to be more than this, but a whole bunch of power outages from this morning's storms and damage from trees, that kind of thing. We had some sheds that were blown over. We had a mobile home that was blown over. Up here by Smithville, we were on air this morning. It was meteorologist Savannah Tennyson and Melissa Meter, and tracking this tornado warned storm up by Smithville, and it does look like it produced a tornado. There's a report of tornado damage. We're going to have to wait for the official survey from the National Weather Service to confirm that, but it looks likely. Another one just southeast of Topeka, southwest of Lawrence, that was just outside of our coverage area, but a tornado was spotted by a storm chaser there. Not reports of damage, but it was spotted. So here's the deal for the rest of the day. I'm showing you a map I don't typically show on television. This is the dew point. Now, this really tells us the humidity in the air, and typically we use it to show you how it feels outside. When the dew point's really high, it feels muggy and terrible outside. But it also is fuel for storms. So where you see the higher numbers like 62 up in Chillicothe and Marshall and Sedalia, you guys still have not had the trigger mechanism that fires the storms pass you by. It has in Kansas City. Look at the metro. We're at 41. That's why our tornado watch was dropped. We no longer have that threat of storms that are what we call surface-based, where they get energy from the moisture down at ground level, and then it taps into the storms, and you get tornadoes to spin. It can't happen like this. So we're out of the threat of severe weather in Kansas City and all the places that have lower numbers on them. But Chillicothe, Marshall, Sedalia, you're not necessarily done with it yet. We have to wait for that line to come through before we can call that. So until that happens, we're going to continue with a severe weather threat. There you go. Just popped up. The tornado watch just got canceled. So what just happened here? Let me show you. So I just showed you the atmosphere and how the storms were not firing up here. So the Storm Prediction Center is an entity that produces these tornado watches and all across the country. And they were monitoring this line and held that watch until just a moment ago to see if that back line was going to be able to fire, and it didn't look like it was going to. We just see what we call cumulus clouds, agitated cumulus clouds, and they're just not able to take advantage of what little bit is left of the atmosphere there. So that's good news. Good news, nobody in the KCTV5 coverage area is under a tornado watch any longer. We'll be able to drop the first warned weather day. I do think that we could see another round of rain tonight, maybe even a few claps of thunder, but not the severe threat, okay? Here's forecast track. Watch what happens as we go through tonight. You see that little clump? So this is the surface low up here. If you look at southeast Nebraska, you see that little kind of semicircle. That's the area of low pressure that is responsible for this whole thing. It's not the severe portion of it. That's actually out in the arm that went through this morning as well off to the east. But as that spins by close, this will be about 7 or 8. You see how we could get a couple little showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, but it's not a big threat. So what's our next threat? That's going to come on Wednesday night and Thursday morning. For the metro, it's Thursday morning. So you see the green. This is not the threat that we had today, okay? But there is a level 1 out of 5 risk as a front passes through during this time, Wednesday night and Thursday morning, for some hail, some strong storms, not as strong as today, not looking at a tornado threat here. I can show it to you on forecast track and what this looks like. So I want to highlight tomorrow. Looks amazing. Tomorrow is a nice break. This is Wednesday during the day. Sunshine, it's beautiful, it's no trouble. We're going to look forward to Wednesday. The wind will come down too. The morning's a little breezy, but the afternoon's not bad. So that's all the way through Wednesday. Here's Wednesday night, okay? Kind of 2 clumps here. If you're down in Clinton, Butler, maybe Harrisonville or Warrensburg, you could have around midnight. Could make some hail. Not widespread severe thunderstorm warnings, but a brief little period of some storms there. The main picture, and for the Kansas City Metro, is going to be what drops in out of the northwest. See this next one that comes through? That's along a cold front. And by early Thursday morning, this is at 6 a.m., what radar may look like. That line comes through. Could have some gusty winds with it too, but the primary threat would be hail and kind of a brief hit of strong storms, and then maybe some patchy backside showers through the rest of the day. So we'll watch for that Wednesday night and Thursday morning for the metro. The metro is really just Thursday morning and probably even mainly before sunrise. That's the only other first warn that we have in your 7-day forecast. A pretty decent chance that we'll at least have showers at times as that line comes through in the morning, and then some patchy stuff in the afternoon on your Thursday. But before we get there, look at Wednesday. 76, sunshine. Tomorrow's awesome. Looks great. Notice the cooler air that comes with those lines of storms too. Low 60s on Thursday. We're dry Friday and into the weekend. Rain, storms, not a problem. But we're going to be in the 50s, so it's back down below normal. Normal's in the mid-60s, so we'll be 5 to 10 degrees below normal for that. So that's the heads up. Hey, it's all good news from the First Warn Weather Center, and we're done with this round. Good to see. Might see a few showers or claps of thunder tonight, but that will be it. And then a beautiful Wednesday before we look at a threat, but a lower threat for your Thursday. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. We're about to go on air here in just moments for the 4 o'clock news on KCTV5. Melissa Meter and I are going to be joining you there. We'll have updates throughout the night as we look to the next one, all right, that's going to be coming in just a couple of days, and see how that one wants to behave, but that's the way it looks for now. Again, thank you so much. Have a good day.